Welcome to a short video on how to solve a problem that involves a metric conversion. First, let's read the problem. A client is to receive 8 milliunits per minute of oxytocin IV infusion via a pump. If the order states oxytocin 30 units mixed with in 500 milliliters lactated ringers, at how many milliliters per hour should the infusion pump run? It's always good when we read the problem to see what it's actually asking. We're asked to find how many milliliters per hour. We notice that this is a rate, so we need to start our problem with a rate. As I read through the problem, the other rate that I have is 8 milliunits per minute. So I need to start with that piece of information. I notice that the one conversion factor available to me is that in my IV bag there are 30 units mixed in 500 milliliters. So this will allow me to convert from units to milliliters. However, my first challenge is that I don't have units, I have milliunits. And we recognize milli as one of our metric prefixes. So what I need to do is remember my metric line. And so I have here my metric line. So King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk full of microorganisms. Currently, my label is milli. And I want to go to the base label, which has no prefix, in this case would be units. So I need to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 places. So I'm starting with 8 and I move my decimal 1, 2, 3 places. So this is going to equal 0.008. Now we have units instead of milliunits, and this is per minute. My goal is to get per hour, so I need to change minutes to hours, and I know that there are 60 minutes in an hour, so I multiply this by 60, and then I have 0.48 units per hour. From here, there's a number of different ways to solve the problem, so it depends on your personal preference. Many people like the formula that we often refer to as the nursing rule, so desired over have times quantity. In this formula, the desired amount is the amount that we've been working with. So we'll put the 0.48 units per hour into the desired spot. What we have is the conversion that we underlined. We have 30 units in a quantity of 500 milliliters. And when we complete the math on this, we end up with 8 milliliters per hour. Some of us prefer to set up a proportion. So in a proportion, we want to start with where we were at with the 0.48 units per hour. We're trying to figure out milliliters per hour, so we put the X milliliters per hour underneath. The per hours match and therefore cancel. In a proportion, we have the equal, so we need equal units in the same spot. So I have 30 units on the top, 500 milliliters in the denominator. I cross multiply, so 0.48 times 500 gives me 240. Cross multiply the other way equals 30x, and then I divide by 30 on both sides of my equation, and I get x equals 8. Looking back in my proportion, I see my label on that is milliliters per hour. And then lastly, some of us prefer to do this problem using dimensional analysis. And with the dimensional analysis, we can actually do the two conversions all in one step. So in the dimensional analysis approach, we have the 0.008 units per minute. We multiply that by 60 to cancel minutes. We multiply that using our conversion to cancel units. And so we have milliliters on top, hours in the denominator, and once again we end up with 8 milliliters per hour.